Welcome everybody to the Magic Beans podcast. We are back again for episode number 101. I'm your host tonight, and my name is Shorty, and I've got a couple of beans on the line with me. So tonight we have Chewy. How's it going, mate?
Actually, Shorty, it's Jen.
Oh.
Chewy had to poop, and now he has a ringer on his phone. It's going to be a good 45 to 55 minutes.
Okay, all right, well, cool. Thanks for joining us, Jen.
My absolute pleasure.
I guess you'll do for tonight. Probably a slight upgrade from Chewy, so that's cool. And I'm pretty sure we've also got Stu on the line. Are you there, Stu?
Hey, oh no, Stu's a bit tuckered out. Poor little bloke had a bit of a scare with the storm tonight, so he's asleep on the couch right now. So I've popped in. I hope that's all right.
That's not surprising. Yeah, no, that's fine. So this would be Jack. So welcome to the show, Jack. Glad to have you as well. So, all right, well. I think most of my show notes for tonight are going to be going out the window. We might have to change what we're doing, but I'm sure you guys will be just fine, and probably, as most people would agree, an improvement on your husbands. So we'll see how we go. Oh, actually, hang on. Ryan's just crying. It is his birthday today. I better happy birthday, Ryan! If you ever listen to this one day, better go and see him. Can you guys just hang on a second, and I'll be right back.
Right. Nothing like an awkward pause. Love it.
Well, there you go.
Shout out to all the magic mums out there.
Yeah, shout out magic mums.
Homeschooling coming to an end.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Pat. Hello.
Hello. Shorty's just stepped out. I thought I'd take a seat, and so who have I got there?
It's Jack.
And Jen.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I don't know exactly what Shorty's doing, but I might sit here for a little bit and chat to you guys. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Always happy for a chat with my friends.
Yeah. So usually I think at the start of the podcast, I mean, I've only listened to a couple, but they mention their sponsors. Jack, do you want to do that?
Yes. Yeah, right. So that'd be Josh and Pat's MTG Bazaar, right? Apparently they've got like a Facebook auction site. And they have multiple lots every night, premium auctions on the weekends, and tokens for winning auctions. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's awesome. And I'm quite sure their website's got to be like www.jpmtgbazaar.com.au. Check it out. I think that's about right, isn't it, Kat?
It is, and I would
that sounds
highly
right.
recommend jumping on to outbid your friends, your partners. A lot of fun making them pay for their own cards at a higher price than what they wanted to.
Absolutely. Make them pay a premium, Jen.
Look, Pat's a good bloke. He's actually helped me out on occasion when I've not been able to find a card in store for Mash, and I've sent him a cheeky message saying, help me source this card. I don't even know where to start, so...
It's also the ultimate getting the professional advice when you're looking for birthday presents for the boys.
Yes,
nice.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I know nothing about what to get my husband. Give me an easy present.
That's an awesome idea. Thank you.
So speaking about our knowledge of the game, I personally have zero knowledge in the game of Magic, but you guys know a little bit more than I do. So Jen, do you want to explain to me and our listeners exactly how much knowledge you have in Magic?
Sure. My knowledge is a bit retro these days, actually. I started playing, I don't even know the year, but I can tell you that it was back in the days of red-white aggro with the original Ravnica and Kamigawa set standard.
Wow,
so
you are talking gibberish to me, but that sounds awesome.
I did have to get it written out because I couldn't even remember the name of the sets. I just remember my deck because I was very fond of it. And actually what got me started was that my fiance at the time started not wanting to hang out with me on a Friday night because there was an unmarked building in Chapel Street that, you know.
Yes, I know the one.
Had an aroma of BO. And he started
the stench of nerd.
He started spending all his time there, and I thought, better check out what's up with this. Not as dodgy as it sounds. Turns out it's a magic store.
What a relief, eh?
Yeah, I know. So, and look, I certainly got the weird 90s movie when I walked in, everything went silent and everyone looked like, are you sure you belong here moment. But once we
they played
that,
like Lady in Red in the background.
No, not quite. Not quite. But once we got over that awkwardness, it was actually an absolute pleasure. So for the Victorian listeners, they'll probably remember the Card Heaven days. I am referring to Card Heaven that was on Chapel Street. People were used to females in the Magic scene at that point because the store was actually part owned by an exceptional player and all-round good human by the name of Bron. And also James McKay's partner, Cato, who was very involved at the time. So people weren't unfamiliar with female Magic players, but it was interesting to come in as a new player and get mixed responses from people. So, you had those people that were genuinely good humans and knew that it was worth investing in new players because it meant growing the community. So they would often support me while I was playing against them.
And of course you would have had your then fiance helping you.
Definitely. He was there. But, there were some good people that would actually sacrifice their own rounds to say, no, you don't want to make that move. You want to do this. Or we'd play the game out and look, I might have gotten lucky and won anyway. But they would then talk me through like, when you made this move, had you done this, things could have gone very differently. So, and look, you can't appreciate those people enough. Then there were definitely the players that were like, you're a new person, you're a girl, you don't even take this game seriously, and therefore you're a waste of my time.
Be prepared to be crushed.
Truthfully, that just made it all the sweeter when I went home with the pineapple on a Friday night. So.
Nice.
And that really doesn't help from a growing the community point of view if you do put down those new players.
No, but I guess you get that in every community, don't you? A sporting community, a gaming community. Everywhere you go, you get good humans and you get jerks that don't grow it and are in it for the wrong reasons, I think, in that sense. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
That's the exact reason I don't play the game Risk.
Yes.
Once I was learning how to play it and Shorty was helping me, inverted commas, to play the game, and turns out he was actually using me the whole time for his own scheme at world domination, and I cracked it and will never play that game again.
Oh, that's a shame. That is actually a really good game, but yes.
No, it's not.
You can't heal those wounds. That's the thing.
No.
And it is something for people to remember, I think. Like the first impressions count, and when you walk into a store or a PTQ or anything for the first time, how you are treated will be the difference between whether you return or not.
Absolutely. So, Jack, can you give us a bit of a background of your Magic history?
It turns out I don't remember as much as I thought I did. I was just talking... Yeah, right. I was talking to Stu about it, and because he asked me, and I said, I'm quite sure it was Chewy at Freshie, holding some sort of a little mini event to get people interested. And he had prizes and such, Chewy. And yeah, he gave me a deck to play with and got really excited about it, as Chewy does, and teaching me all about it and how amazing this thing is and what these things mean. And, oh, look at this shiny one. It's a Shivan Dragon. And I was like, oh, I was roped. Absolutely fascinated by this. But, it's just Chewy draws you in. And
and dragons.
And dragons, right? Dragons, yeah.
Dragons.
Not a lot has changed with me. I've pinched Stu's dragon deck. What is it? The commander deck. It's pretty amazing. And because of this, event that Chew had held years ago, it turns out it was like 10 or 11 years ago, and I really hadn't realised. It also turns out it was at Box Hill and not at Freshie, our campsite. So Stu corrected me on that one, and I was so sure it was Freshie.
The events all do start to blur into one.
Yeah, right. So
there would have been a few other girls playing around that time, Jack. I have a feeling my sister might have at some point.
Rings a bell, actually, yeah. But like I said, I just remembered Shorty. I mean,
it's a blur.
I just remember Chewy and a Shivan Dragon, and I beat him.
And really, that's all you need to know to get
that's
into
all
anything.
I remember. He beat me, and then it's like, oh, and you came so close, but well done, And then a few minutes later, he's like, hang on, that was a flyer. I can't block a flyer. And it turns out I had won. So I was quite stoked. He gave me the deck. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like he gave me the deck. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was really exciting.
A victory will always help with the motivation.
It certainly does. And yeah, his excitement, everybody else's excitement, and just fervour for the game was really fun. And it's nice to be included and taught something new. I thought it was fascinating as well, because it's actually a really fascinating concept, and yeah, it's really enormous, actually.
Do you find, Jack, because you're someone who struggles to turn your brain off, you're far more thoughtful and intelligent than I would say that I am. So for me, I find as a mum now working, I actually struggle to play the game unless it's like a really simple, fun format like Commander, because I just don't have the brain capacity. Yeah. Do you actually find you enjoy it more now because you're looking for something to help you immerse in and switch your brain off?
Yeah, that's exactly why it's been really useful to me. And I've really enjoyed it just the last couple of years. So I had a massive gap where I just wasn't a part of our lives at all, really. And then in about 2018 or 2019, so not too long ago, Stu and I would play at the kitchen table for hours, just hours. And that's precisely why it was so fantastic. I could immerse myself in the game and become, just completely involved in dragons, like completely involved in it, and could not think about anything else, which was great because everything else was just kind of sucky at the time. So
Jack, in the past, so you're playing at the kitchen table with your husband and getting the experience that way, but have you ever participated in an actual event?
No, I have not. I mean,
and Jen,
like
you haven't you?
I have, actually. I did a few FNMs, which is Friday Night Magic. Took me a long time to figure out what that really basic acronym stood for. And I've done a few PTQs. I've even done an event with Shorty and Chewy where it was like a Teams event. I can't remember if it was a PTQ or not.
I vaguely remember that.
Yes, so they would always sit me in the middle so they could coach me while we played.
Yep, and I was somewhere else.
Yeah, yes, you were. But I've done a few. And look, I've gone with Matt to Chewy. I've gone with Chewy, for those who don't know him as Matt, we've done nationals before, so obviously I didn't qualify for Nats, but there were, back in the day when they did Nats in Canberra, there would be side events and what they called grinders, where you could try and win a place into the actual main event. So, look, I was never interested in losing, 2 or 3 days of my weekend to an event, but I was certainly happy to, for a few hours gameplay and for the chats and the laughs that you got with people that you knew. And for me, they were always really special weekends because the other magic wives would also, or magic widows, as we refer to ourselves, would also go. And, we'd do a few hours gameplay and then we'd see a movie together or go out for a lovely dinner or whatnot. So it was just a really nice way of connecting with people.
That's great. So would you class events like that as being your best memory, so to speak, in terms of playing Magic or being involved in the Magic community?
Oh, how's that for a question? My favourite question's going to be, who's everybody's favourite host? Pretty sure it's going to be Kat Bauhaus for her good questions.
I also vote Kat.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a third vote for Kat.
So for me, I think my best memory, and part of it is gameplay. Like I loved my red-white weenie deck. It was an aggro deck. It was really simple and fun to play. I coped and thought it was a huge leap when I started splashing green to play Curdate. I stopped enjoying the game when that set sort of moved on and the decks felt more complicated and, you could flip cards and do all kinds of fancy tricks that Chewy thought were wonderful and would try and engage me in, and I just mourned the loss of my original deck. So I've got great early memories of that sort of gameplay, but I think for me the highlight was actually Chewy won an event that scored him a Pro Tour invitation for the Pro Tour.
I remember this.
In Kuala Lumpur. So for me, obviously the highlight was getting to go to KL on a free holiday, so that he could play in the Pro Tour. And that was it was really interesting to see, you know, like I think for me, that was the moment where I went, oh, wow, this is really serious gameplay. Like, even though we were playing at events and, you know, there was regularity to our gameplay, I think that was the point where I was like, oh my goodness, there's like pro tours and, you know, if you win these things, you win significant prizes and there's Hall of Fame and you know,
absolutely
these well-known celebrity pro players. So it was really funny for us. There was this really lovely but super nerdy New Yorker by the name of Zvi Malkowitz. Oh my goodness. I keep going to call him John Malkovich. Malkowitz.
Yep.
Super lovely guy, but super awkward. He just attached himself to us and I had no idea who he was. I just thought he was funny and like he was great to chat with. And so we went out for dinner with him and all of his friends who also happened to be like big Magic celebrities like John Finkel and, I can't even remember some of their names actually, which is really sad. But what was really funny is someone like Chewy, who is never short for something to say, was so starstruck. And it was hilarious.
What?
I know, right? So because I didn't have that context of who they were just people to me because the game didn't have that sort of level of celebrity at that point. I was still just, I guess, getting that sense. I thought it was really hilarious that he was freezing up as if we were, you know, face to face with a legit Hollywood celeb. So
how adorable.
So that will always actually be my greatest memory.
Unreal.
I think we potentially could have had a memory in common, Jen. A few years ago, you and I booked tickets to Singapore.
Yes.
And the reason we bought tickets to Singapore was because the boys wanted to play an event in Singapore over, I think it was Queen's birthday weekend that year.
Correct.
And so we booked some flights and you guys were going to Hong Kong and then Singapore. We were going to Bali and then Singapore and we planned it all around this particular event. And then I think it was a month or so out, they changed the dates of the event.
Yes, and only by like a week or something. It was too late
and
for us
I was
to
like,
move it.
We're not changing the holiday. We're going to Singapore. And that was it.
I completely forgot about it. Like, I think I remember Singapore fondly. I completely forget that the whole purpose of that trip was for them to play in that tournament that didn't happen.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I wasn't disappointed.
Times.
But I'm sure it would have been lovely because I know we had plans for the boys were going to go off and play several events over several days and you and I were going to sit by a pool and that was going to be wonderful. And we still got to sit by the pool. It's just that the husbands were able to help look after the children. So
nice.
That was,
well done.
Yeah, that was quite pleasant, from my memory.
Absolutely. Sucked in, Beans. Sorry to all our listeners that are dedicated to the game on the same level as our husbands.
Yes. Hey, you know there's a crying wife somewhere in the background. No.
Yes. Yes, there is.
So I'll tell you a little bit about, well, I can't tell you about my history with the game because there is none. It's a blank void. But I'll tell you what I enjoy most about it. I like opening packs or cracking packs, so to speak.
Yes.
I am required to do so because my husband is unable to crack packs. Or when he can finally sort of fumble them open, they've never got anything good in them.
So you're like
you're the charm.
Exactly.
Charm, like a charm, like a totem.
Sometimes I'll blow on them. Sometimes I'll rub them on Alpha, our cat's head. And I often get pretty good things in the packs. So,
wow. So should we get a cat?
Absolutely.
Just for that reason. Just to improve
for that
the
reason.
picks from the packs.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't enjoy it at all, but that's what we do. But truthfully, whenever Shorty gets a box of cards, is it a box? I don't know. What's it called? A box?
Box will do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Box.
The boxes are the really expensive one, cats, that they try to talk down on what it actually costs.
Oh, and they say they got some good price.
Like pre-order, pre-release.
Oh, that's right. I got it early and therefore it was discounted. So I'm saving money.
It's a pre-release. And I got two of them because I save more that way.
I do retail. That's not how it works.
If you buy a case of boxes, it actually works out really cheap.
That's right. And then I get all my friends to pay me and no.
That's right.
But anyway, so when he gets a new one of these, he'll come up into the lounge room and drop them on the coffee table, and it is my job to open them all up, which I do enjoy doing. And the reason I enjoy it is I love the artwork.
Yes.
So actually, I do not read the descriptions. I do not care if it's black or white or purple or red or whatever other colours there are.
That's good because purple isn't a colour.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think purple's one of the colours.
You got me a little bit
it.
worried, Kat. I was worried that purple was a colour and that I had forgotten.
I've really blocked a lot out.
But I love the artwork and I love the themes of the packs or the release or whatever it is. So I particularly loved the fairy tale one they did not that long ago.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
And those ones I liked them to the point where I actually read the description of the card. Usually I'll read the name of the card and I'll have a little chuckle if there's a joke there. But I love looking at the artwork of them. Sometimes they're really sort of ethereal and, you know, you've got sort of witches and stuff. Sometimes they're gross, like it's sort of eyeballs poking out and stuff, and like all of it. I love looking at the artwork. So I'll flip through and then I get super excited when I find a mythic one and I'm like, I got another mythic. And yeah, Shorty's sort of like, that's good. That's good. And
see, I've got no idea what a mythic one is. I'll get one that I think looks really cool and I'll go, oh, Stu, is this one expensive? And he's like, no, I've got like 10 of those. Like, oh.
I'm exactly the same, Jack. I actually appreciate Kat's patience in going through them all because I just go straight to the back and I look at the colour of the symbol, like is it gold, is it silver, because that's what tells me, you know, rarity. Right, and at that point I'm like, okay, cool. It looks expensive. Is it expensive? And can we sell it?
Yes.
To which the answer is always no.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get that as well.
Or I'll get a card waved in front of my face. Hey, Jack, check this one out. Look. Ooh. And then he'll say whatever the name is and, you know, irrelevant to me. And I'll just read it and and nod at him and wait for him to give me that elaboration of why it's so particularly cool that he has to wave it in front of my face. And
there is one card that I know. And so if Shorty was to ever say, guess what I got? My response would be, is it Black Lotus?
Yes.
I've heard about that one too.
It will never be.
Apparently it is never Black Lotus.
Matt will actually never forgive me because in the early days of our marriage when money was tight and we were saving to buy a house, someone offered him a not mint condition Black Lotus for like, I don't know, $1,000 or $1,500. And to anyone who knows the value of Black Lotus now, they go, you crazy fool, you should have bought that thing. But I'm like, it's a piece of cardboard. Like there is no way on earth I'm letting you spend $1,000 or $1,500 on a piece of cardboard that's, you know, no bigger than a coaster.
Even when the excuse or, you know, the reason would be, yeah, but in like 6 months or 6 years or 6 decades,
it'll be worth
that's going to be worth $1 bazillion. And you just know that they won't sell it. It'll be like
You're
enshrined in epoxy enamel or something and sitting on a desk and dusted 4 times a day. And yeah, it won't necessarily make money.
No, I agree. Like, it would have gone up in value, and yes, we probably should have bought it at the time that it was such a price. That being said, you're correct. He would never sell it, where to me I go, oh, great, so it's now worth $6,000, it's now worth $20,000. Like, at what point are we parting ways with this thing?
Yes, at what point can I go shopping?
And going to, you know,
Hawaii. At what point can we
Hawaii.
fund a holiday now? Or buy me a new car?
Exactly.
The answer is always never.
Hypothetical question here. How many cards do your husbands own?
At least 7.
At least 7 cards, 7 boxes of cards.
Approximately 7. Look, I don't know about you guys, but I almost called him Tristan. Shorty recently made a storage room underneath our house. And I'm thinking, yes, I can put all the Christmas decorations in there. We can put the porta cot, you know, the baby things we don't use anymore.
Yes.
We can put all those in there.
Logic.
Guess what went in there?
Oh,
Cards.
yeah.
Folders and boxes and folders and so many folders.
Where
and
did they all come from before they were put in the storage?
I don't know how long this collection has actually been gathering and whether, like...
And where he pulled them from.
Well, where do they churn through? Like, as in, do they come out as frequently as they come in? Like, they just seem to
the
multiply.
answer is no, Kat. They don't go out as fast as they come in.
Oh, there's more coming in all the time.
Because they're buying. I have actually realised the value in letting Matt spend the money on a card that might be what feels ridiculously expensive for a card, but then he's only buying that specific card versus buying boxes and boosters and ending up
in the hope of getting something.
In the hope of getting something worth money, when we end up then with piles and piles of cards that don't go into decks anywhere. The only thing that has actually helped is that we now have small children who put their grubby hands on everything.
And they decrease in value instantly.
Correct. So that tends to force what used to be piles and piles of cards just on the floor, or piles of card boxes full of cards stacked up high. They're at least now hiding in cupboards and drawers and things like that. But there is no way that they could all account for the cards that are in their collection.
No. Stu has like an entire shelf, like a bookshelf, dedicated cards, and it's overflowing. And I point at it and say, Stu, that's an indication that you've got too many cards. He says, no, this is an indication that I need more shelves. So we don't have any walls left to put shelves because the other walls are full of your Lego.
This is now a work health and safety issue. I'm sorry, you need to cull that collection.
We're going to be drowned in cards. So, and brings us back to that point about card value. You could probably sell a lot.
Yeah.
At least 1 kilo or 2 of them.
Yes.
Like we're talking about them in terms of kilo.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting, like there were times where Matt would actually take the boxes of commons and lands and the things that you just end up with hundreds of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, offering them to friends who are starting stores and things like that. But they've got so many from their own collections that they don't even want.
Oh, I bet.
So they are hard to get rid of in that sense.
So, Jen, you mentioned your kids touching the cards.
Yes.
You've got is Frankie 7 now?
Yes.
Yes. So 7-year-old daughter, does she play?
She does play a little. She's like you, Kat. She loves the artwork. And she connects with the story. So obviously, like when the fairy tale collection came out, that was really special for her.
Oh, I loved her reaction video to the intro, the promotional video with the gingerbread man. That was awesome.
Yeah. So and she loves that she can have like themed decks. She can have a fairy deck or a vampire deck and things like that. As far as the gameplay goes, she's probably only now getting to the point. She's really only just got to a solid reading level that now she can actually read and understand and play. So I think we'll see her get far more immersed in it sort of from this age onwards.
Well, now there'll be, because there's a few younger girls, like Ebony, my 10-year-old daughter, she plays.
Yes.
So now that Frankie's sort of getting that sort of the reading side of it down, she'll be able to play with Ebony. And Jack, your 3 girls, do they play?
Yeah. Yeah. Not for a little bit. They've been caught up playing, I think, Genshin and all these other
yes.
Roblox and other stuff. But they received a couple of decks each for Christmas just gone. I don't think they've touched them since, but I don't know. They were playing a bit quite a few months ago.
Do you think an introduction of that sort of game is good for them? Like, as in, apart from teaching them to read, but like, is your experience with seeing them learn to play, is that good?
Oh yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. And they genuinely like it. They just like sitting there with Stu and learning about it, and they want to verse each other and verse me. And I don't really have the patience to verse them because I've got to tell them all the stuff and all the things. And that's where Stu really comes in.
They need their own person on their own side.
They need a person on their own side. But same thing when those themed decks come out, Stu gets all excited and includes them in it, and they just love it. I love the fairy decks. And yeah, the planeswalkers, they've each got like a planeswalker deck. And I think, and oh my goodness, Tallulah, she's also 7. She picks up the names of the cards really well. So she remembers card names and talks about them.
Oh, okay.
I do love that it gives the kids something to do with their dad, like that, because it's natural for them to want to do something with their dad. And it's an easy, portable hobby. It's something that we will take camping and things like that. And I love, for those listening, you're aware that we all go to church together. We've got a church camp where we all have caravans and tend to head down during holiday seasons. I love seeing all the daughters, like, you know, Cracker's daughter, my brother's daughter, Ebbs, and even, I'm hoping sort of now Frankie and that next generation. They actually wander off and they go and start playing Magic somewhere without the dads. Like, it doesn't require the adults, and it's not about being a part of that. They actually just genuinely enjoy the game and having something that's theirs. And I think that's really cool. I do
adorable.
Get a kick out of seeing
They're not
that.
told to do it. I actually find it quite cute when you head into sort of the communal areas of camp and you've got one table set up with 8 or so guys, stinky nerds, facing each other playing. And then you've got this table next to them with all of these petite, blonde, blue-eyed girls playing cards. Literally.
They're so unusually blonde and blue-eyed. I don't know what's in the water.
That's
strange.
There's a couple of
but they're playing the exact same thing. Yes, and we love our little brunettes. But yeah, they're playing the exact same game right next to their dads. They're not playing with their dads because, the dads probably don't have the patience at that point. But they're playing right next to them and stealing their corn chips.
Yes, No, there is something really sweet about that. So I do love that. And that's what I love about the game. I can't believe I'm actually saying the words out loud on record.
Yeah, Jen.
That I love the game, but
it's an endorsement.
Do
you love it? Do you love it as much as I love cheese?
No,
cheese.
No one will ever love anything as much as you love cheese.
Damn straight.
I don't love my own children as much as you love cheese. But,
do you need an intervention?
I do love
Maybe.
that, like it's available for professional gamers who want to completely immerse themselves in it and even make a career out of it. I love that it's got that casual gameplay option. I love that kids can play it. I love that you don't even have to really like it, and be committed to getting to know it intimately to enjoy playing it and connecting with other people across the table. We've made so many great friends through it that we never would have met had we played Magic. We've travelled and stayed at their houses. I've had weekends with my house full of random boys that have come over from Tasmania or down from Queensland because there was an event on. And they're all just the loveliest humans. And, they're there for a weekend. They're perfectly polite. They clean up after themselves and they head on home. And then we bump into them months later, 2 years later, and they remember you and, you have that opportunity to connect again. And I just think that's really
nice.
Great.
It's strangely wholesome.
So going forward with Magic, and obviously at some point restrictions will lift and they can start having face-to-face games again. How does that look for your families when they're allowed to actually go out and play again?
That's going to be a relief. Getting sick of having him around the house. He needs to get out, poor guy. I mean, it's not like he doesn't get out every day for work, but yeah.
It means not having to look at my family's faces for 8 hours while Dad and the eldest one go out for a bit of time. So
yeah. Get out.
I think it'll be really good. I think they really miss it. I mean, I know for Chewy, his entire day is spent in the same chair, in the same office, in front of the same PC because he's working from home. All his hobbies during lockdown had to become PC-based. Anything that was social interaction with his mates became PC-based. So I think he'll love getting out and actually being able to sit across and see the face of the person that he's playing with. So
it gives you a completely different buzz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I think for Shorty, he's similar in that his role is at work is fairly full on a lot of the time, and they sort of need that social release. Yes, it's a game, and yes, it involves a lot of brain work, but it's a very different kind of brain work to a job.
Yes.
And he thrives on strategy and logic and things like that. So I think that's what he enjoys most about the game, that strategy sort of element of it. And for him, it's sort of a way of, I don't know, getting that social time in, but as well as using his brain and not being able to do that. Not that I think he's suffering from it, of course, but I think he'll really enjoy being able to get back to
I don't think he really works as hard as he says he does.
Sure he does.
If he's got enough brain power at the end of the day to do that, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Jen, do you think I'm being lied to?
No, I don't. I know he works hard. I think that's what blows my mind. And that's where, like I'm dazzled by Jack and her ability to play, because I find for me, I just don't have the brain capacity. Like, the kids get my physical and emotional energy, and then work gets my mental. And to then sit and play a game that requires thought and strategy.
There's nothing left. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I need to
Don't forget my girls are much older than yours. Where yours are, it's just a different, it's exhausting.
I might get back there, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment I'm enjoying putting my feet up and watching, British murder mysteries and other lame things to pass the time, because they don't take that mental...
You need downtime when you're wrangling young children.
More
the
often than
downtime
not,
is important.
Whether it's playing live with someone or talking about it, even in the evenings, it's sort of a nighttime game, unless you're sort of arranging a specific day to play. And in the evenings, I've got nothing left.
Yes.
I literally, all I have is I can sit and I can crack packs and shuffle through them and then put a pack down, pick up the next one. Like that's the maximum of my bandwidth in the evenings at the moment. So learning how to play a game.
A lot of work.
Oh,
it does.
It's hard, man. So I get it. I get why the guys want to get around and play cards together, because it's hard. Adulting's hard.
Yeah. Don't commit that to audio, Jack.
I'm
pretty sure they're recording
delete it. Should we ask them to go back and just cut that last bit?
Yeah, they're probably all going to re-emerge and be like, I can't believe you're at our PCs.
I know, Stu's pretty out of it.
Speaking of the boys and what they're going to say, we were discussing just before this what we would call ourselves.
Yes.
So the boys are called the Beans.
They are the Beans, and we, I guess, are the wives of the Beans.
And apparently they do things called bean polls.
They do bean polls, and their loyal listeners are called bean sprouts.
Bean sprouts.
So can we potentially come up with a name for us that is not rude and does not sound like a feminine hygiene product, and perhaps put it to a bean poll? Maybe the boys can arrange that to work out what we could be called. I think, Jack, you had a pretty good idea of one.
So I'm thinking I vote bean spouse.
Bean spouse. I like it.
Bean spouse.
Instead of bean sprout, we are bean spouse.
We are thine bean spouse.
It was certainly the least dodgy suggestion that we all came up with. So
right, and there's a little bit of cleverness to it too, which I'm quite impressed by, because it is late. Yep.
It is. It's quite punny.
It's really your best, Jack, late at night when there's no filter.
Yeah, and it's recorded, so I've got proof that I'm not entirely marshmallowed all the time. It's great.
Oh, we know you're not.
Thank you.
I'm actually pretty sure the boys have leagues coming up. So for people listening, join the league. They give great prizes, and they don't charge people to join, which blows my mind. Maybe that's what they're doing wrong. Should we give them some business advice in the background?
Maybe.
You want to pay for that box? Charge someone to join your league.
I mean, do they do merch, right? They got merch.
They do have merch. Their hoodies are super comfy, super warm.
Shorty's got a blue t-shirt that I like.
Yes. We also, they've got great gaming mats, the play mats, which we all have under our laptops to use as our mouse pads. So
yes, I'm looking at a couple of them right now underneath all our keyboards.
They're also so professional. They're on YouTube. They're on Facebook. They have their Twitch channel, which we highly recommend you follow if you want updates like the fact that what are we called? Bean spouse at this point are coming to you.
Someone please come up with a name.
And Twitter. Can never get enough of them on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter, but they are.
Do you know what I just recently joined Discord for something completely unrelated, and I'm looking at Stu's Discord now, and it's just this wall of so many groups and streams and channels, and it's mayhem.
So I'm on Discord as well, Jack, and I've literally got the line for my family whenever we play games, which we've done once, and I've got the line for a group of friends that play Among Us.
Ah, yes.
And that's it. And then I look at Shorty's, and it's just like...
You can scroll for an hour.
And like sometimes he's sitting there and his phone's just going ping, 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 ping. And I look down and all I can see is Discord. Like this person said this person, like that. And it's just like, oh my goodness.
You should probably follow and subscribe to them, Kat, given you've already got Discord right there.
Maybe I will. Maybe.
I'll think about it. If we get a cool name, like if we go for Bean Spouse, maybe we can even have our own Bean Spouse Discord.
Yes. And you can ask the Bean Spouses questions.
Yes. Let's get it running, man.
Yes. Anything you like about the people that you listen to. You want to know a humiliating story? We'll find you a humiliating story.
Do you want to tell me about Shorty not being able to open a pack? I'm happy to listen to that.
Yep. You want to know the first thing Stu puts together when I tell him, can he please get the kids ready and pack the car for camping trips? What's the first thing he puts in the car?
Yes.
Magic cards.
Magic cards. And then he forgets things like shorts and underwear. But the magic cards, he's got all of them. First thing that goes in.
I agree. That
awesome.
Is on the regular.
I think we're almost at the end. Yes. Yeah. I can hear one of my children coughing, so I'd probably go, oh, well, I'd better find Shorty. I mean, I don't know where he ended up. Maybe he fell asleep in Ryan's room.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and tiptoe to bed myself, just leave Stu on the couch where he's quieter. Can't hear him from the lounge room. Snoring.
Yep. Well, you ladies have yourself a cuppa before bed, and I'll see you guys soon.
No worries.
Sounds good.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
To you, ladies. Thanks for listening, everyone.
It was amazing.
All right. Rate us your favourite podcast of the year.
Favourite podcast. Favourite host. All right. See you girls. Bye.
Bye.